Thanks for joining me today on a new Elite Dangerous video. A little overdue, I suppose, but as of late I really find myself just uploading whenever I can, whenever I want to, and whenever I actually have something useful to say. You know, I don't really want to upload anything if it isn't worth discussing. Now, obviously, we've been in the beta for the Engineers update for a while now, and I was debating what kind of video I should upload. Should I just go over all the features and tell you how I feel about them, or not? Well, you know, looking at Reddit, looking at Obsidian Ant and all the others who already cover all that stuff, I'm like, you know what, screw it. I don't want to just do the same thing that everybody else does. And in the end, I just ended up trying out the update for myself and putting the game down again, because in the end, this update is not so much for me. Obviously, this update is called Engineers because it introduces engineers, and these guys can give you new weapons, updated weapons, and better performance on your weapons, but also stuff like your FSD drives and your thrusters. But all in all, it's relative minor stuff besides the weapons, of course. Now, I don't really play Elite for the combat. I have done it. I've done pretty much all of the roles that you can think about. That you can think of in Elite. I've done mining, combat, bounty hunting, trading, and of course exploration. And obviously, as you know, exploration is where, you know, I get my most fun out of. So in the end, Engineers is not so much for me. There are a couple of really cool things though, and of course they are worth mentioning. The terrain textures, for example, that have been upgraded, they look absolutely amazing. Tire tracks, which obviously come with that as well, giving a little bit more immersion to the SRV, giving you a sense of actually leaving your mark on the planet. The engineer outposts, they look incredibly beautiful, and it's something that was very much needed, I would say, to give some more variation to the fact that everything looks exactly the same in Elite. Yeah, again, they look absolutely beautiful. I like how when you go down into the hangars now, the hangar bay is actually different looking. You can see that basically it's carved into the rock, and it gives you that immersion feeling, which is great. Now, they obviously added portraits. Portraits are nice. Like I posted a video a couple of months ago discussing immersion. Portraits is a big thing. Of course, yeah, the first step to the character customization. I like the point of interest update that they did, where you can actually, you know, go down the crashed ships and salvage them, and I like how they dug them into the terrain. That looks nice. And then lastly, there's the automated comms, which is really good. When you go down to a planet and you try and dock up to a station or an outpost, you actually have a system hailing you and guiding you down into a docking bay. Now that's pretty awesome, I would say. Again, though, it's not so much for explorers, this. And I think that apart from the Engineers update that we're getting now, the only two things remaining for this season are character customization, which is a cool thing, and probably the fighter bay, which is something I'm very enthusiastic for, actually. I can't wait to be able to take a little ship that doesn't have any FDL capabilities and just fly around with that. Now, I didn't really know how to cut into this cake, but what I wanted to talk about in this video as well is some of the things that I'm missing from Elite and that I'm patiently waiting for. I get why we did Engineers, and I get why we did weapons. We need to make sure that we keep the game interesting for the majority of the people that I would assume are playing this game for combat, PvP and PvE. So I totally get that. But again, what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for that feeling of I'm a person. I can walk in my ship. I can look around, maybe even look out the windows, look up to terminals, get other people, of course, which is part of this update, to sit in my ship. I don't know if they're going to do walking in ships in this update. It would be really, really cool if they did, combining that with the character customization, but we don't know. We'll have to see. Here's the thing though, I want to take this a step further, and I'm assuming that at some point we will be able to, but I'm just dreaming it for now. I want to be able to walk on planets. I like the idea of just landing my ship and having to manually walk in into an outpost. Here's some Mass Effect video for you. I mean, just look at this incredibly cool way of walking, driving on a planet and heading out into an outpost. Now, of course, you're looking at an atmospheric planet, and that is obviously the next thing. I mean, right now we're only able to land on airless moons, which is incredibly cool, and the terrain looks pretty varied per planet. You know, icy planets will look like icy planets, and rocky planets will look like rocky planets, of course. And this is why I think atmospheric planets are going to add to the twist. Now, I really do hope, though, that Elite, or Frontier, I should say, give this time, because like you can see here in Mass Effect, it takes effort to give it a good atmosphere, so to say. You know, you want to have some wind, and listen to the sound effects here, the gusts of the wind, and how you roll over and you see the clouds in the air, a moon in the background. You're no longer in space. Even on a moon, you still feel like you're in space, because you are. There's no atmosphere. You're looking at the stars. Now here in Mass Effect, what you can see is a skyline with clouds moving by, and it just looks amazing. And you'll actually feel, because of the different colors of hue in the sky, that you're on a different planet and the atmosphere is different. And yeah, I'm excited for that. One thing that I wanted to mention as well about Mass Effect is the fact that you have third-person view when you're in the Scarab, and I will, or in the Mako, of course, not the Scarab. What I like about the third-person view is the fact that you get a lot more sense of scale. Now, I realize, obviously, Frontier is trying to stay close to the original Elite game by keeping it first-person, but I sincerely do hope that we get third-person view, because, you know, unless you're playing with a VR unit, being first person, especially in your ship, you don't really know how to compare your size to what's around you. It's just very difficult. Take the speed, for example. I mean, I'll be doing 500 meters a second, and it'll only just feel like, oh yeah, I'm about the speed of a fighter jet. Well, you're about twice the speed of a fighter jet, actually, but because you've got no good relative frame around you, it's very difficult. Now, if you could roam around on the planet in third person, you would be able to see the tiny size of your ship compared to the huge ass mountain next to you, and I think that will really help. So here's hoping that at some point they'll add third person view. With the footage here from Mass Effect, all we can do is dream for now, right? This looks incredibly amazing, and I really do hope that they add this kind of gameplay to Elite. Walking in ships, walking on planets, roaming around an outpost, meeting up with friends, atmospheric landings, that's the stuff I'm waiting for. And yeah, here's me waiting patiently for more Explorer things to do in Elite Dangerous. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about everything I just mentioned in this video. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. See you later.